And then there were two. In the beginning, and I'm talking about the second video I put out on Mare of Easttown, I told you it was the Ross brothers. You can go back and check those videos. That's who I stuck with. While other people's moved off to the Reverend and the Deacon, and people also said Chiffon and other things, I've always maintained it was the Ross brothers. In this video, I'm going to make the case of how either one of these brothers could have committed this crime, and at the end, I will tell you who I believe the killer really is. What up to all my thugs, nerds, geeks, and freaks? You're now rocking with the best, the Don Tony Teflon, and if you can, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, because if this video hits 500 likes, I will give away a free t-shirt to someone who leaves a comment who is also a subscriber. You have to be in it to win it. We haven't hit that number yet, people. Only 2 episodes left, 2 videos. Let's try to get there and give away 2 t-shirts. Now, as I said in my opening statement, I always said it was the Ross brothers. As soon as I seen them, I knew they were dirty. And you can go back and check my videos. This is all in one playlist, so you can check that whole playlist out, and you will see that I am telling you the truth if this is the first time of you finding me. Thank you for giving me a shot, and please go back and check those videos. If you heard those theories before, great minds could think alike, or it's a good possibility they got it from me. Now, let's go through all the evidence we have and talk about these brothers and try to figure out exactly which brother did what. Let's start with Billy, because it seems like Billy is the guy, and after listening to everything in this episode, we have to pick one person. I think you're gonna have to say it's Billy. Now, I see a lot of other people saying it's John. We're gonna go through John. I've always said it was Billy, and I'm gonna stick to that, but I'm gonna go through all the points as if John could have done it too, and we're gonna point them out. But first, we start with Billy. Now, from what we know, Billy's affair with her started at the family reunion, right? This is where he gets the necklace to give to her. Now, the necklace, if you can look at it, it clearly says on the paper that it was brought, that Billy was the one who brought the necklace. If his brother brought the necklace, they would have highlighted that fact, but the fact that it says his name on the paper, there's no other person that could have. So you have to ask yourself, why would he buy this necklace? Well, it's a good possibility that he did something with her there at that time, and it seemed like even though it's his cousin, he kind of liked her, like he was feeling her. So he wanted her to remember this time that they shared together. That's why he got that date put on there with a heart around it. Now, I didn't think it was gold when I seen it. It looked kind of like brass. Maybe he just went to the jeweler to get this brass charmed engraved. If it's gold, I don't think it was, but maybe it was gold. I think if it was gold, she would have sold it because she was looking for money. But obviously, this was a special time in her life. She kept this and she hid this. And I said from the beginning that the only person she would hide this from would be her father, because he was the only person living with her. And he would have known exactly if he would have seen it, the date, and he would have questioned her. And that's exactly why. So it's a good chance that they did have sex while they were there at some point. Now, there were a lot of people there, but I still think they could have found a way to get the job done. So if Billy is the father, which it looks like he is the father, I told you from my first video that I did that whoever killed this girl is the baby's father. When we look at the story of Erin, we can see that she wanted to have money for her kid's surgery. That is what she was after. So if she was going to expose the baby's father, if he did not pay, would be the only reason someone is mad enough to kill this little girl. Now, back to Billy. When he is sitting down there with Mare, with his brother and his sister-in-law, and they're about to drink a beer, they bring up the fact that she stayed with him for a little while, longer than he wanted. He got really nervous about that, put his jacket on, and bounced extremely quick. asked to have a beer and did not even take one sip of the beer. So that is another sign saying, why did he get so nervous? But his brother was calm. His brother didn't react anyway. He didn't even act like it was a big deal. So that also points to Billy. All right, the smoking gun to Billy comes from his own father. His father comes out there and says straight up that on the night that Erin got murdered, Billy came home covered in blood. Covered completely in blood. And he went in the bathroom and was cleaning off. Now, I told you from my prior video that they were going to show that in the flashback scene, and that's exactly what they did, because I knew it by the shirts that they were wearing, that's what was going on. That's why they had the bleach back there. I told you that in the last video. You can go back and check that out. Now, after this, Billy basically then confesses to doing the job. He says that he killed this girl. He says it's point blank. I am the one who killed this girl, and I am ready to turn myself in for it. We seen that he was drinking really hard, and if he truly cared about this girl, like he really wanted to be with her, but he knew he couldn't be with her because they're family, you know, it's gotta hurt if he actually killed the woman that basically he loved. That would be devastating. That would drive somebody to drink. When we add it all up together, it is clear that it looks like Billy is the baby's father and the one who pulled the trigger. Out of his own mouth, he said he's the one that pulled the trigger. But that doesn't mean he is the one who did it. We have to look at one piece of evidence we were shown that suggests that he is not the killer. And that is the picture that was brought to the chief. The fact they did not show us who was on that picture, and the fact that immediately the chief said, put Mare on the phone, get me her now, and makes me think that it cannot be Billy in that. And if it's not Billy, then without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, the only person I could see being in that picture is John. That's it. It would have to be John. So let's see if we can fill in the gaps and make it so that John is actually the killer. Now, as I said, I think the killer is the baby's father. So is it possible that he's the baby's father? So we know that it all starts at this family reunion. This is when Billy hooks up with Erin, supposedly. Now, let's say that it's John, and John hooks up with her at this reunion. He would have to avoid everybody there, plus his wife and his kids, in order to have pulled that off. Not saying it's undoable, but that's what he would have to sneak around. He would have to sneak out, away from his wife, away from his kids, away from seeing them together at all in this type of manner, to prevent people from gossiping, because that's what people would do, and his crazy cousin from busting his ass for sleeping with his daughter. It would have to be a situation like that. Now, to me, it seems more like Billy would do it, just because Billy's closer in age. But we do know John does cheat. He did have an affair already, so we know he's hot in his pants. So it's quite possible that that is the case. He could have been with her. But then we have to ask ourselves the question, why did Billy go and make this pendant? Well, if Billy did fall for her, the only way it would work, and he's seen that she was leaning towards his brother, is that somehow he thought that by buying this pendant, somehow it would make her like him more than her brother. That's the only way. We know Billy brought the pendant. That would be the only way I could see why he would do it, and then John really being the person she was with. So let's assume that John was able to have sex with her, and then he impregnated her at this time. Let's say that just happened, hypothetically. Now, it would make sense because we hear Billy say to his brother, you don't know how to keep your dick in your pants, and you always get in trouble, you know, just paraphrasing what he said. So that could mean when Erin stayed with him at the time, she could have confessed to Billy at that time that the father of the baby, the fact that he was in love with her, he could have been mad that the brother did this and treated her like this and didn't take care of his responsibilities with this child because he did not want anyone to find out what was going on would be reason why Billy could erupt at his brother like he did when he seen him. That would make sense to me, and that's the only reason I could see him acting like that if this person was the one who actually killed and was the baby's father. Next thing we would have to do is explain away the blood all over Billy. The fact of the matter is, Billy had blood all over him. The father said it. We've seen the flashback of him washing it off. That's a fact. Billy had blood all over him. So how, if John is the killer, did Billy get blood all over him? Now, if I were to make this work, this would be the only way I could see it possibly happening. Billy somehow contacts her that night and says he spoke to his brother about the money. She gets upset, and that's why she goes down there to meet him. So we have to remember that phone call, the one that Mare didn't catch, is very important. That's the only way I could see them both being at the situation, because they would both have to be there at the same time. Then I would think that Billy doesn't know, like John told him, hey, get her on the horn. I can't have any communication with her. You did this for me, and I'm going to give her the money. Billy's saying, all right, he gets her on the horn to get her the money. She gets down there. Now, when she gets down there, John's plan is to kill her all along. Billy has no idea that this is going to happen. John pulls out the gun. When he pulls out the gun, Billy is behind her. And when he shoots, he hits. She puts her hand in front of her face. The bullet flies through her finger. Blood splatters from her backwards onto Billy's face, and that's why he gets drenched in blood and his brother doesn't have any blood because he's standing in front. The blood would go backwards. After this, they both go and get rid of the body. They take off the shirt to try to make it look like it was a rape or something, and then they go their separate ways. This would give Billy the drinking problem because he really did truly love this girl, and he was there and a witness to her murder by his brother, so he can't say nothing, so it's just eating him up inside. If it's John, if he's the killer and the baby's father, that is the only way I could see the story making sense, and that's exactly the way it would have had to go down. If it's Billy, the way I presented to you is the only way that makes sense, and that's the way the story had to go down. I have presented two scenarios for you. Now it's up to you to figure out which way do you think the pendulum is going to swing, or if you have something else. There is one secret, something I did not reveal yet, that may point to something else. And I'm going to put that in the video later this week. So make sure that you're subscribed and you have the notifications bell clicked on so you can be alerted as soon as I drop that video. It won't be long. I'll drop it really soon, I promise. So tell me in the comment section, who do you think did it? Which scenario do you think fits the bill better? Billy or his brother? It's one or the other. I guarantee you that. Right before it starts, please join me here at Teflon TV with LMR. We do the pregame show for the final episode. We'll be there, and we'll be on immediately after the episode is over, talking about our first reactions for the last episode. Please join us live. Subscribe and click that bell so you don't have to worry about being reminded and you get those notifications. Make sure you say you want all notifications on when you do it. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.